Today we are talking about a small brown coin that many people ignore every single day, but this exact coin could be hiding serious money in your pocket or old collection. This is the 1980 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance, yet in special conditions and rare varieties it has shocked collectors with prices reaching up to $45,475. Stay with me till the end because once you know what to look for, you will never see pennies the same way again. The Lincoln penny has one of the longest and most loved histories in American coinage. Introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical person. By the time 1980 arrived, the Lincoln cent had already gone through multiple changes in metal composition, minting technology, and collecting popularity. The year 1980 sits right at a very interesting point in penny history, just before the big metal change of the early 1980s that would later separate valuable copper cents from common zinc ones. The 1980 D Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small D Mint mark located just below the date on the obverse side of the coin. This mint produced hundreds of millions of pennies in 1980, so at first glance you might think there is nothing rare about it. However, rarity in coin collecting is not always about how many were made. It is about condition, errors, die varieties, and survival in perfect shape over time. Let's talk about the metal composition first, because this is extremely important. The 1980 D Lincoln penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, the classic bronze composition that collectors love. This is the same solid copper-based alloy used for decades before the switch in 1982. Because copper prices have risen over time, these pennies already have intrinsic metal value beyond 1 cent. But the real money comes from collector demand, not just copper content. On the front of the coin, you see Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty on the left side and the motto "In God We Trust" along the top. The date 1980 appears to the right of Lincoln's portrait, with the D Mint mark just below the date. On the reverse, you see the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was used from 1959 until 2008. Inside the memorial, if you look very closely, you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln sitting in the center, a detail that many people miss. Most 1980 D pennies you find in circulation are heavily worn. They have scratches, dull surfaces, dark spots, and damage from years of use. These coins are usually worth only 1 to 3 cents. Even uncirculated examples are often valued at just a few cents, or maybe $1. So how does a coin like this reach a value of $45,475? The answer lies in condition, rarity, and exceptional strike quality. Coins are graded on a scale that measures how well preserved they are. The highest levels are known as mint state, and within that range, the tiniest details matter. A penny graded MS67, MS68, or higher must be nearly perfect. It needs sharp details, original luster, no major marks, and excellent eye appeal. Very few pennies survive in this condition, especially coins that were meant for everyday use. The record-breaking prices for 1980 D Lincoln pennies come from examples graded at the very top of the scale by professional grading services. These coins often show blazing red color, meaning the copper has not toned or darkened over time. Red copper cents are far more desirable than brown or red-brown ones. A full red 1980 D penny with flawless surfaces is incredibly rare, and collectors compete fiercely when one appears at auction. Another major factor that can push the value sky high is mint errors and die varieties. Errors happen during the minting process, and when they are dramatic and authentic, collectors love them. Some known error types for Lincoln pennies include off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and wrong planchet errors. While not all errors are worth thousands, certain combinations of rarity, visibility, and condition can lead to huge prices. One especially exciting possibility is a doubled die variety. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a doubled image due to misalignment during the hubbing process. On a doubled die penny, you might see doubling on the date, the word Liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust." Strong doubling that is clearly visible under magnification can add significant value, especially if the coin is in high grade. strike quality also matters a lot for the 1980 penny. Some coins were weakly struck, meaning the details are not sharp, especially on Lincoln's hair and beard or the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. A coin with a strong, full strike stands out and is much harder to find. When you combine a strong strike with full red color and near-perfect surfaces, you are looking at a coin that elite collectors want for their registry sets. Registry sets are competitive collections where collectors try to assemble the highest graded examples of each coin in a series. When only one or two top-graded 1980 pennies exist, the price can explode because serious collectors are willing to pay almost anything to secure the best one. This is how a penny that looks ordinary can suddenly sell for tens of thousands of dollars. The current market value of $45,475 represents a top-tier example sold at auction or valued based on recent high-end sales. It does not mean every 1980 penny is worth this amount, but it does mean the potential exists. That is what makes coin hunting so exciting. Anyone could theoretically find one of these coins in an old roll, collection, or jar that has been untouched for decades. If you want to check your own 1980 pennies, start with the basics. Look at the color. Is it bright red, or has it turned brown? Red coins are much more valuable. Next, examine the surfaces under good lighting. Look for scratches, spots, or signs of cleaning. Cleaning a coin, even gently, can destroy its value. Always leave the coin in its natural state. Then look closely at the details. Is Lincoln's hair sharp and well-defined? Are the letters crisp? On the reverse, are the lines of the Lincoln Memorial clear and strong? Weak details lower the grade. If you suspect doubling or an unusual error, compare your coin to normal examples and consider using a magnifying glass or microscope. If you truly believe you have a special coin, the next step is professional grading. Services like PCGS or NGC authenticate, grade, and encapsulate coins in protective holders. While grading costs money, it is essential for high-value coins. A coin without professional certification will never reach top auction prices, no matter how nice it looks. It is also important to understand the market psychology behind these prices. Coin values are driven by demand, rarity, condition, and timing. When a rare top-graded coin appears at auction, wealthy collectors may engage in bidding wars. These emotional moments can push prices far beyond typical estimates. That is often how record prices are set. The 1980 Lincoln penny also benefits from being part of a popular and widely collected series. Lincoln cents are collected by beginners and experts alike. This broad interest keeps demand strong, especially for standout examples. Even though the coin is relatively modern, its place in the copper era gives it extra appeal. Historically, many valuable coins were once considered ordinary. People spent them, ignored them, and lost them. Today, collectors pay huge sums to recover the best surviving examples. The same story applies to the 1980 penny. Most were used and worn, leaving very few in pristine condition. Time itself creates rarity. Another interesting aspect is long-term investment potential. While no investment is guaranteed, high-grade copper Lincoln cents have shown strong performance over the years. As collectors build registry sets and demand for top-quality coins increases, prices for the best examples can continue to rise. A $45,475 penny today could be worth even more in the future if demand remains strong. This is why you should never throw away old pennies without checking them. A simple jar of coins inherited from a family member could contain hidden treasures. Even if you do not find a five-figure coin, you might still discover valuable pieces worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. In conclusion, the 1980 mint mark Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how small details make a huge difference in the world of coin collecting. While most are common and worth very little, the rare few that survive in exceptional condition or with special characteristics can reach astonishing values. A current market value of up to $45,475 proves that even a 1-cent coin can change lives. So, the next time you see a penny on the ground or in your change, think twice before ignoring it. Today we are talking about one of the most shocking and misunderstood coins ever found in everyday pocket change, the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that many people still ignore, spend, or throw into jars, without realizing that certain examples of this penny have sold for as much as $53,375. Yes, you heard that right. A simple 1-cent coin from 1982 has reached a current market value of $53,375, and in this video I will explain exactly why this coin is so valuable, what makes it special, how to identify it, and why collectors around the world are desperately searching for it even today. The Lincoln penny has always been one of the most collected coins in American history. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, this coin has passed through billions of hands. For decades it was made mostly from copper, giving it that familiar reddish color and solid feel. However, by the early 1980s, the rising cost of copper forced the United States Mint to make one of the biggest changes in coin history, and that change happened in 1982. The year 1982 is legendary in the world of coin collecting because it was a transition year. During this single year, the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln pennies in multiple compositions, weights, and styles. Some were made from the traditional 95% copper alloy, while others were made from a new zinc core coated with copper. This sudden shift created confusion, mistakes, and rare errors, and those errors are exactly what make the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable today. Now let's talk about the no mint mark part, because this is extremely important. A no mint mark penny means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1982, Philadelphia produced massive quantities of pennies, but among those coins were extremely rare variations that were never meant to exist. These variations slipped through quality control and entered circulation, where some lucky individuals found them completely by accident. One of the most valuable versions of the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny is related to its metal composition and weight. Normally, copper pennies weigh about 3.11 grams, while zinc pennies weigh about 2.5 grams. However, during the transition period in 1982, some pennies were struck using the wrong metal planchets. This resulted in coins that appear normal but weigh incorrectly. These off-metal errors are considered major mint errors, and collectors pay enormous sums to own one. Another extremely rare and valuable variation involves the design details, especially the date. In 1982, there are both large date and small date varieties. The small date variety is significantly rarer, and when combined with the correct copper composition and no mint mark, the value skyrockets. Many people cannot tell the difference between large date and small date unless they look closely, which is why so many of these coins went unnoticed for years. The most valuable 1982 no mint mark Lincoln pennies are those that are copper small date errors. These coins were never supposed to exist because the small date design was intended for zinc planchets. When a copper small date penny is discovered and professionally authenticated, it becomes one of the rarest modern Lincoln cents ever known. That is how values reach $50,000 and beyond. Condition also plays a massive role in value. A heavily circulated coin will not reach these prices, but a coin in near perfect condition, especially one graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, can command incredible premiums. A mint state example with full details, sharp lettering, and original color is what collectors dream of finding. What makes this story even more exciting is that these coins are still being discovered. Unlike ancient coins locked away in museums, the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny came from everyday circulation. That means there is still a chance, even today, that one of these valuable coins is sitting in a drawer, a jar, or a forgotten piggy bank somewhere in the world. Many collectors remember the moment they realized how valuable this penny could be. People who once ignored pennies suddenly started weighing them, examining dates, and checking mint marks. Coin rolls from banks became treasure hunts, and stories began to spread of ordinary people finding life-changing money in the smallest denomination of U.S. currency. The history behind this coin also reflects a turning point in American economics. The switch from copper to zinc was not just a mint decision, but a reflection of inflation, metal prices, and changing times. The 1982 penny represents the end of an era, the final chapter of true copper Lincoln cents, and that historical significance adds even more value in the eyes of collectors. When a verified 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny with the correct era characteristics appears at auction, bidding becomes intense. Serious collectors, investors, and numismatic institutions compete fiercely, driving prices higher and higher. A final sale price of $53,375 is not just about the coin itself, but about rarity, history, condition, and demand all coming together at once. If you think you might have one of these pennies, the first step is to check the weight using a precise digital scale. Then examine the date closely to determine whether it is a large date or small date variety. Look for strong details and original color. If you believe your coin matches these characteristics, professional authentication is essential. Never clean the coin, because cleaning can destroy its value instantly. The 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny proves that incredible treasures can hide in plain sight. It reminds us that even the smallest coin can hold massive value and history. This is why coin collecting remains one of the most exciting hobbies in the world. Every coin has a story, but some stories are worth tens of thousands of dollars. As coin values continue to rise and collectors become more aware, the demand for rare era pennies like this one will only grow. The current market value of $53,375 may not be the final chapter. Future auction results could push prices even higher, especially as fewer examples remain available. So the next time you see a penny dated 1982 with no mint mark, do not ignore it. Take a closer look. Weigh it. Study it. Because that small copper coin might just be one of the rarest Lincoln pennies ever made, and it could be worth more than most cars on the road today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's most valuable modern pennies, make sure to stay tuned, because there are many more coins hiding extraordinary value, and the next one could be in your pocket right now. Today we are talking about a coin that almost everyone has seen, many people have spent without thinking twice, and yet very few truly understand how valuable it can be. This is the 1998 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny, a small 1-cent coin that looks ordinary at first glance but has shocked collectors by selling for as much as $65,384. Yes, a penny that could change your life if you know what to look for. So before you ignore your spare change or throw it into a jar, make sure you watch this entire video because you might already own this hidden treasure. The Lincoln penny has always been one of the most collected coins in American history. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, it became the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical person. Over the decades, billions of Lincoln cents have been produced, and most people assume they are all common and worth only face value. But that assumption is exactly why rare and valuable Lincoln pennies often go unnoticed. The year 1998 was a very important period for the United States Mint. During this time, the Mint was producing massive quantities of coins to meet circulation demand, but high production numbers often lead to mistakes, die errors, and unusual varieties. The 1998 D Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small D mint mark located just below the year on the obverse side of the coin. While millions of these pennies were made, only a very small number possessed the rare characteristics that make them extremely valuable today. The obverse of the 1998 D Lincoln penny features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln faces to the right, with the word Liberty visible behind him and the national motto "In God We Trust" across the top. The date 1998 appears in front of Lincoln's chest, with the D mint mark just beneath the year. On most coins, these details appear normal and sharp, but on rare specimens, collectors have noticed unusual doubling, misalignment, or striking errors that dramatically increase value. The reverse of the coin shows the Lincoln Memorial, which was used on pennies from 1959 until 2008. Above the memorial is the phrase United States of America, and below it is the denomination 1 cent inside the memorial. If you look very closely, you can actually see a tiny statue of Lincoln seated between the columns. This level of detail is one of the reasons collectors carefully inspect every Lincoln Memorial cent for errors and anomalies. Now let's talk about what actually makes a 1998 D Lincoln penny worth serious money. The first and most important factor is condition. Most pennies from 1998 were heavily circulated, meaning they show wear, scratches, and discoloration. These coins are usually worth only 1 cent. However, coins that were never circulated and preserved in mint condition can be worth significantly more. When a coin is graded as mint state, especially MS-67 or higher, its value can jump dramatically. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC examine coins under magnification and assign a grade based on surface preservation, luster, strike quality, and overall appearance. A 1998 D. Lincoln penny graded MS-68 or higher is extremely rare. Only a handful of these coins exist in such perfect condition, and collectors are willing to pay enormous premiums to own them. Another major factor is mint errors. Error coins are highly desirable because they are accidental and usually destroyed before leaving the mint. When an error escapes into circulation, it becomes a collector's dream. Some known errors on 1998 D. Lincoln pennies include off-center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned, resulting in part of the coin being blank. These errors are visually dramatic and can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on severity. Double die errors are another key reason some 1998 D pennies are worth so much. A double die occurs when the coin die receives multiple impressions that are slightly misaligned. This causes doubling in the design elements such as the date, letters, or Lincoln's portrait. True double die coins are extremely rare and highly valuable. Collectors look for strong, clear doubling that can be seen without a microscope. There are also cases of broad strike errors, where the coin is struck without the retaining collar, causing it to spread out and appear larger than normal. These errors are uncommon and very collectible. Even more valuable are coins struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the penny was mistakenly struck on a blank intended for another denomination. These types of errors can fetch staggering prices at auction. Now let's discuss the famous high-value sale. A 1998 D. Lincoln penny graded in exceptional condition with near-perfect surfaces and strong luster sold for an astonishing $65,384. This sale shocked the coin collecting world and proved that modern pennies can be just as valuable as classic rare coins. The price was driven by extreme rarity, top-tier grading, and fierce competition among collectors who wanted to own one of the finest examples known. So how can you tell if your 1998 D penny might be valuable? Start by checking the mint mark. Make sure it has a clear D below the date. Then examine the coin under good lighting. Look for doubling in the letters of In God We Trust, Liberty, and the date. Check Lincoln's profile for unusual thickness or ghost-like images. Inspect the edges and overall shape to see if the coin is off-center or wider than normal. Next, evaluate the condition. If your coin looks brand new, with full red color and no visible wear, it may be worth having professionally graded. Do not clean the coin under any circumstances. Cleaning destroys original surfaces and can reduce the value to almost nothing. Always handle the coin by the edges and store it in a protective holder. It's important to understand that most 1998 D pennies are not worth thousands of dollars. However, the few that are exceptional can change lives. This is why collectors always say check every coin, because you never know what you might find. Many valuable coins are discovered by ordinary people who simply paid attention to their pocket change. The Lincoln Penny series continues to be one of the most exciting areas of modern coin collecting. Even coins from the 1990s, which many people think are too recent to be valuable, have proven otherwise. The 1998 D. Lincoln Penny stands as a perfect example of how rarity, condition, and minting errors can turn a simple 1-cent coin into a 5-figure treasure. As coin collecting grows in popularity, especially on platforms like YouTube, interest in rare pennies continues to rise. More collectors are entering the market, and competition for top-graded coins is increasing. This means prices for rare examples may continue to climb in the future. If you enjoy learning about valuable coins like this one, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We explore hidden treasures, rare errors, and unbelievable coin values that most people overlook every day. Before you leave, take one more look at your coin jar, your wallet, or that old drawer full of change. That small copper-colored coin you've been ignoring could be worth more than a brand new car. The 1998 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny proves that sometimes the greatest treasures are hiding in plain sight. Thank you for watching, and remember, always check your change because history, rarity, and life-changing value might be sitting right in your hands. Today we are talking about one of the most misunderstood and secretly exciting modern Lincoln pennies, the 1998 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent coin. This is the kind of penny that millions of people have handled, spent, and ignored, yet certain examples of this exact coin have shocked collectors by selling for as much as $53,837. If you have ever wondered whether a simple penny from the late 1990s could really be worth life-changing money, stay with me because by the end of this video you will look at your spare change very differently. The Lincoln penny is one of the most iconic coins in American history. Introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it became the first regular-issue United States coin to feature a real person. By the time we reached 1998, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for nearly 90 years, passing through wars, economic booms, recessions, and massive changes in minting technology. The 1998 no-mint Mark penny represents a moment in time when traditional coinage methods were meeting modern mass production, and that combination is a big reason why certain rare errors and high-grade examples exist today. The 1998 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. When a penny has no mint mark, it almost always means it was struck in Philadelphia, because that mint traditionally did not use a mint mark on cents for most years. In 1998, the Philadelphia Mint struck billions of Lincoln pennies. Because of this enormous mintage, most people assume the coin has no value beyond face value. That assumption is correct for the majority of circulated examples, but collectors know that rarity is not just about how many coins were made. Rarity is about condition, errors, and special characteristics that separate one coin from millions of others. The design of the 1998 Lincoln penny features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, facing right, with the word Liberty to the left and the date 1998 to the right. Above Lincoln's head is the familiar motto "In God We Trust." On the reverse, this coin still uses the Lincoln Memorial design, which was introduced in 1959. The Lincoln Memorial reverse shows the famous Washington Monument building, and if you look closely you can actually see a tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial. This level of detail is one reason collectors love this design so much. By 1998, Lincoln pennies were composed mostly of zinc with a thin copper coating. The composition is 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. This change in metal content originally happened in 1982 to reduce production costs. While many collectors prefer the older solid copper cents, the zinc-based pennies of the modern era are actually responsible for many dramatic mint errors, including off-center strikes, broad strikes, die clashes, and plating errors. These errors can transform a 1-cent coin into a 5-figure collectible. One of the most valuable versions of the 1998 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is found in extremely high mint state condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect coin. Most pennies that enter circulation immediately pick up scratches, contact marks, and wear. Finding a 1998 penny graded MS68 or higher is incredibly difficult. These coins must have nearly flawless surfaces, strong strikes, and beautiful original luster. When a 1998 no-mint Mark penny achieves this level of preservation, collectors compete fiercely to own it, driving prices into the tens of thousands of dollars. The current market value of $53,837 is associated with a top population example that was professionally graded and certified. This kind of price is not typical, but it proves what is possible when condition rarity meets collector demand. In auctions, two coins of the same date can have wildly different values depending on microscopic details. A single nick or dull surface can reduce a coin's value from thousands to just a few cents. Mint errors play another major role in the high values seen for some 1998 Lincoln pennies. During the minting process, blank planchets are fed into presses that strike the design using engraved dies. When something goes wrong during this process, the result can be a dramatic and valuable error. For example, a misaligned die can create an off-center strike where part of the design is missing. A damaged die can leave raised cracks or extra metal on the coin. Plating errors can cause bubbles, peeling copper, or exposed zinc. Each of these errors is unique, and collectors are willing to pay large premiums for bold, visually interesting examples. Another important factor is double die errors. A double die occurs when the die itself receives a doubled impression during its creation. This causes parts of the design, such as letters or numbers, to appear doubled on every coin struck by that die. If a 1998 no-mint mark penny shows clear doubling on the date or lettering, it can be extremely valuable, especially in uncirculated condition. True doubled dies are different from machine doubling, and experienced collectors and grading services know how to tell the difference. The popularity of Lincoln cents ensures strong collector demand. There are thousands of collectors who focus exclusively on Lincoln pennies, assembling date and mint sets, era collections, or high-grade registry sets. Because 1998 is a relatively modern year, many collectors underestimate its potential. This creates opportunities for sharp-eyed individuals who know what to look for. Searching rolls of pennies, old jars, or inherited collections can sometimes lead to incredible discoveries. It is also important to understand the role of professional grading in achieving record prices. Coins that sell for tens of thousands of dollars are almost always certified by major grading services. Certification provides authentication, an official grade, and a protective holder. This gives buyers confidence and allows rare coins to bring top dollar at auction. An uncertified coin, even if it appears high grade, will rarely reach the same price levels because of uncertainty. If you think you may have a valuable 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, the first step is careful inspection. Look at the coin under good lighting and magnification. Check the surfaces for strong luster, minimal marks, and sharp details. Examine the date and lettering for any signs of doubling. Look for unusual features such as missing details, extra metal, or off-center designs. Compare your coin to standard examples online to see if anything stands out. Condition matters more than age for modern coins. A circulated 1998 penny with wear and scratches is usually worth 1 cent. An uncirculated example saved straight from a roll may be worth a few dollars. But a superb gem example or a dramatic mint error can be worth thousands or even tens of thousands. This huge gap in value is what makes modern coin collecting so exciting. The story of the 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a reminder that valuable coins are not always ancient or made of precious metals. Sometimes, the most ordinary objects can become extraordinary under the right circumstances. This penny represents the idea that knowledge is power in the world of coin collecting. The more you learn about grading, errors, and history, the better your chances of finding something special. As we look ahead, interest in modern rarities continues to grow. New collectors enter the hobby every year, and many of them start with Lincoln cents because they are familiar and affordable. As demand increases for top-quality examples, prices for the finest known coins can rise dramatically. What sold for thousands yesterday can sell for much more tomorrow if collectors compete for limited supply. In closing, the 1998 no-mint mark Lincoln penny may seem like just another coin, but it holds incredible potential. With a current market value reaching $53,837 for the best examples, it proves that even modern pocket change can become a treasure. So the next time you see a penny dated 1998, do not dismiss it too quickly. Take a closer look, because you might be holding a piece of American coinage history that is worth far more than 1 cent.